Y'all feel it?
A message to all you pseudo spitters. The sound is cool, but the trend I see is the truth is missing. I feel the flow is stupid. You claim that the music's different. I guess it's all opinion, depending on who was listening.
What's the word, y'all? This is KTR_podcast, No Rules Podcast. You are now live and direct with Sanko, Big Harv, and J-Bo himself on another Saturday for our Wrestling Weekly recap. How are y'all doing today?
I am energetic. I'm up and I'm feeling good.
Out here, baby. Yeah. Saturday. We up. We up.
Y'all have issues because I'm tired. This is the new thing they want to do. They want to start recording our Wrestling Weekly recaps on Saturday mornits
Beautiful Saturday mornings
before the crack of dawn.
Dude, it's like 10 o'clock. What are you talking about?
It's early. We were supposed to do this at 8. Y'all made me wake up at 7:58 and y'all wasn't ready. So I'm 2 hours cranky over here. I got to bleep that out now. But anyway, that's another story.
Harv clearly said between 10 and 11. I don't know why you up at 7.
I don't care.
Shoot.
Anyway, before we get started with our show, be sure to follow Ramblin Gamblin Sports Network at and Gamblin on Twitter. That is ANDGAMBLIN, because they are in it for the money. Because if they don't talk about dollars, then it don't make sense. Now we about to get into it. Starting off with Monday Night Raw, we had ourselves one hell of a show. I'm not even gonna lie to you about it. First off, we're gonna go with Peyton Royce defeating Billy Kay by pinfall. I was heartbroken by that because I love Billy Kay. I'm sad that the Icons broke up, but that's another story. Gonna move on. Next off, we have we're gonna go with Oscar and Mickey James. They defeated Natalya and Lana by submission. Somebody had to tap out that day. Another thing we had the Hurt Business defeated Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, and Apollo Crews because somebody finally came to their senses and joined the Hurt Business for the greater good for themselves. They collect that check, get that bag, and make a name for himself. And finally, later on in the show, the Hurt Business, featuring Cedric Alexander now, beat the Viking Raiders and Ricochet and Apollo Crews. After that, we had some another matches as well. We had the Street Profits. They defeated Andrade and Angel Garza. Looks like there's a little tension between Andrade and Garza. Like they might break up sooner than later. We had a couple of handicap matches with the Riot Squad against Shayna Baszler and the Riot Squad against Nia Jax. Apparently, the Riot Squad beat Shayna Baszler, which caught me by surprise, but at the same time, Retribution came out during Nia Jax's match against Riot Squad, and that resulted in disqualification. So we couldn't see the takedown of Nia Jax. But that's another story. We're going to move on from there. Also, we had Randy Orton. He defeated Keith Lee, even though it was about to call disqualification. But at the same time, Randy Orton's going to beat Keith Lee anyway because he hit him with the RKO and he's about to pin him. But somebody had to come in with their Claymore, kick somebody in the skull, just because they want to make Keith Lee look strong. Now, anyway, but that's another story. I don't hate Keith Lee. I love Keith Lee, but I love Randy Orton more, hometown here and everything. But yeah, Randy Orton won that match about the qualification. And last but not least, we had Dominic Mysterio defeated Murphy because Murphy quit.
Because he quits.
Just quote unquote he quit, but they just called off because he took 86 kendo stick shots to the ribs and body. But anyway, moving on from there. So that was your recap for Monday Night Raw. So how do y'all feel about the show? J-Bo, we're going to start off with you since your hair is all out this morning.
Shut up, Sam. So, yeah, Raw was a big show. I thought it was a great show, in my opinion. A few things I would highlight. Drew and Randy. With Drew, this is like his first time he's facing the same opponent in the row since he won the WWE title, and I'm loving this feud. I'm loving Drew. I'm loving Randy. I'm loving their chemistry with each other, and I'm loving how they're building it. So that's great. The Riot Squad is kind of interesting to me, how they were pretty much like a jobber group at first, and then they broke up, and then now they're back in the title contention. This kind of goes back to what we've been talking about with the tag teams and the women's division, where it's like they're just pretty much doing whatever to keep the belt somewhat relevant. And on top of all that, with Billy Kay and Peyton Royce breaking up, the one thing I will say I liked about it, though, is that they remain friends. they're still cool. You know, we see too many times where tag team break up and they're trying to go off their own separate ways. They clearly show that, hey, they're going single, but they're still good as a tag team. So that's great. A few other things you mentioned Andrade and Garza and how they beefing. I mean, they've been beefing for a while. To be honest, they need to just break up or they just need to make up. I don't really care at this point. Okay, something needs to happen with them. But the highlight of the show was definitely Cedric Alexander joining the Hurt Business. Jay Harv called it. We knew, Cedric needed to happen. And honestly, where his career is in the WWE, he does need a positive shift. He needs a mouthpiece like MVP. He needs a group to support him. So him joining the Hurt Business is great, not just for his career, but it's great for the Hurt Business too, because they need a young, high-flying guy. Now they can hit the wrestling ring from all different angles. So it's nothing but goodness for the Hurt Business. Like MVP says, business is booming.
Big hole.
Yeah, man, I agree with all that. Because especially since I want to piggyback on that Hurt Business thing real quick, they needed somebody young. Everybody in that group is a veteran. So I've said before, Cedric Alexander is probably pound for pound the best black wrestler at least on the planet. So yeah, good move all around. That's a good move all around. I like all the moving pieces they have with the feud with Randy Orton. And they got Keith Lee in there. They got Drew in there. They keep throwing a bunch of curveballs at us, keeping things exciting so it don't get boring. Don't care about the Riot Squad. Don't care about those titles. Get them out of there. At this point, for some distribution at this point, man. Like y'all said a couple weeks ago about how it's getting old. It's really getting old at this point. It's coming out interrupting stuff. The payoff needs to happen sooner rather than later, or people just gonna not care. They think they can do all this really just because there's no arena, but we need a payoff. We need at least one reveal. They can reveal 1 or 2 people and still keep some mystery in the group, But we'll see how that goes.
And I've been talking about Retribution. Like since the very beginning, I was not on board, and we're weeks, maybe over a month into it, and I'm still not on board. So it's not working for me.
Like I said, they got into the Clash of Champions, so I'm over it by then. So y'all got a couple of weeks left with that. And I feel bad for Murphy because he had to lose to Dominic Mysterio on live TV on the main event. Like you work all your life to be this great wrestler, and you lose to Rey Mysterio's son. But anyway, moving on. We're gonna get on SmackDown now. So SmackDown recap reviews. We're gonna start with my boy Otis. He defeated John Morrison by pinfall. And also we had Lucha House Party. They defeated Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. That was a surprise right there. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to the Street Profits for the assist though. Also, we had AJ Styles. He defeated Jeff Hardy by disqualification because of Sami Zayn. He still cannot let go of the fact that he's not champion anymore. And he interferes until he gets his time with this IC title. Anyway, moving on. We had Nikki Cross defeated Tamina, Lacey Evans, and Alexa Bliss in the fatal 4-way for the #1 contender spot for SmackDown Women's title against Bayley at Clash of Champions. And Nikki Cross got that again. So she'll be facing off against Bayley at Clash of Champions again. Trying to figure it out. But anyway, moving on. And also, last but not least, Jey Uso defeated Sheamus and King Corbin. Mainly with Jey Uso. It was a handicap match. Jey Uso got the win off by himself, but Mr. Wreck Everyone and Leave decided to hit a spear at the last second and got the win for the quote-unquote team. So, SmackDown reviews. Big Hog, we're going to start with you first since you're on the move right now. We're going to keep it moving.
Start with me first when I'm straight. But, the build, it's going to be a really good build to that title match with Uso and Rome. They're trying to build dissension on, I don't know, of course we follow them on social media, so we see all the little pictures they're doing, trying to show them when they was kids playing football, how they came up together, all that. And that's going to make all the more painful when he beats the hell out of his cousin for the title. I think they're doing a good job trying to put him up though as a singles competitor. He's gonna beat the hell out of that boy. He's gonna mercy kill him. It's gonna happen. I'm not really fond of what they're doing for the women's title right now. They just need to keep it straight with Sasha and Bailey. What else we got? Sami Zayn. I feel like Sami Zayn's being wasted. He's been wasted for a while now. I like that they have him pretty dead set on the title, but he's more annoying than he is effective with what he's doing. I haven't really felt anything for Sami in a while since he came back from injury, and you know, it was about a year or so ago he came back, and I haven't on Smackdown since the title show was more concise. I liked it, and I liked Raw. Probably about a B minus. Raw usually get about a C plus from me, so it was still a pretty good show.
J-Bo.
Friday was cool. I think Raw had more prominent moments, but SmackDown was also good too. Few things. No offense, Cinco, but I am not interested in the Money in the Bank briefcase at this moment.
Wow.
I'm just not. It just.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not, mainly because, and it's not that I don't like Otis. I love Otis. I think he's one of the most entertaining guys we got on SmackDown right now. But as far as him being the Money in the Bank winner and holder, I don't know. It's just lackluster right now. The only time I can see this being relevant is him and, Tucker, cashing in for the tag team titles. But for the heavyweight title, this is a waste of a Money in the Bank, in my opinion. It just is. Kalisto,
Unforgettable angle. Completely.
I'm surprised Kalisto did beat Cesaro, but like I said, when he came back, he's in great shape. I mean, he looks better than ever. So I'm surprised, but I'm not too surprised. I'm glad he actually pulled off that victory. The triple threat match, I'm actually a little bit more interested in. When it was just Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles, it was cool. But with Sami Zayn coming back, as kind of what Harv mentioned, he's not, as not memorable, but he's not as prominent out there as he used to be. Not like the NXT Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura that we know of. But hey, he's back. He was the last Intercontinental Champion before COVID hit, so at least he's making his statement, so I'm okay with all that. I don't care what nobody says. I love the Bailey heel turn. I loved it when she turned heel, and I still love it now. It is lackluster that she's going against Nikki Cross again. I'm not really too interested on that, mainly because I'm more interested with her.
Yeah, I love the turn. I just work.
Yeah.
That's like a 2-year feud they've been building. They've been building the Sasha and Bailey match for a while, for a good long while.
Yeah,
nobody wants to see Nikki.
Yeah, you're right.
It's probably going to have to be a Survivor Series. Let's give it time. November is around the corner. They're waiting for after Clash of Champions.
I don't know. I'm just looking for like a good, climax with both of these two. But I'm loving Bailey's heel turn. I can't wait to see how it ends. And lastly, with Roman Reigns, I'm pretty much going to repeat what Jay Hart says. It's going to be a slobber knocker. Shout out to JR. It's going to be disgusting, but it's going to be great. It's just going to put Roman Reigns on a higher heel pedestal that he already is on. So I'm looking forward to this squash match at the next title match.
Y'all trash. Anyway, Jay Uso, I got faith in you. You're going to get this strap. We're going to take it back home.
Jay Uso, I love you and your brother, but I have absolutely no faith.
Damn well. Jay Uso is not about to beat Roman Reigns with Paul It's the heel angle. Everybody been waiting on the boy to go heel. He's heel, and he's going to lose to his cousin. You out your mind.
How you out your mind here, Gamblin, real quick? Anyway.
You out your mind.
There we go. We mute now, so you can't hear him right now. So you got to hear that blasphemy that you were speaking earlier.
You are
yes. Oh, dang, I got to ask him to unmute himself.
Yeah,
there you go. I didn't think he was going to stay like that. Oh, that was funny. But like I said, Jay Uso, we rooting for you over here. I don't know about them, but I am. But yeah. Anyway, that looks like that's all the time that we have for today. Oh, yeah. Also, shout out to Finn Balor for becoming a 2-time NXT champion.
Beautiful.
The undisputed man himself, Adam Cole.
Beautiful. Freaking beautiful.
Yes. That was something.
Beautiful.
I'm still in disbelief because I want to have Cole win, undisputed era over here, Yeah, we're moving on from there. Okay, we're gonna let the tensions go away. Moving on. Too sweet. Woo woo boo boo. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like I said, that's all the time we have. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. We're on Twitter and Instagram at KTR_podcast, Facebook and YouTube, Know the Roast Podcast, all podcast platforms at Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts at Know the Roast Podcast, and be sure to go look up Ramblin Gamblin Sports Network at and Gamblin on Twitter, ANDGAMBLIN, because they are in it for the money. Because it don't talk about dollars, it don't do what?
Makes sense.
That's right. It don't make sense. Sense, whatever you want to say. But anyway, that's all the time we have. That's our Wrestling Weekly recap, and we are out.
Pump them numbers.